Alright, you lot. This week in gaming, a mobile cash grab slapped face for a 90s action classic. Delta Force bragged about numbers no one asked for. And Splitgate 2 is back with infinite maps and infinite marketing wank, because no screams innovation like re-eating your own leftovers. We've got 5 flaming stories hotter than a loot box lawsuit and dumber than a Diablo Immortal launch party. Expect meltdowns, monetisation, and marketing so manipulative it could run for office. Let's fucking go. Right, so this week some marketing genius decided best way to honour one of the most iconic sci-fi films ever made were by stuffing its cold dead corpse into Raid Rush, a mobile tower defence game built to hoover up microtransactions faster than T-1000 hoovered up bullets. This crossover is gaming equivalent to slapping Terminator into a toaster and calling it innovation. Now let's be clear. Terminator 2 Judgment Day is sacred. It's kind of film you don't touch unless you've got something revolutionary, or at very least respectful. What we got? A mobile game. A fucking battle pass. Sarah Connor dropping bombs next to HK tanks, while players log in for their exclusive T-800 spray paint. Here's plot. Skynet finds a planet in Raid Rush universe full of shiny tech, launches an invasion, and Resistance sends a reprogrammed T-800, Sarah and John Connor to defend it. Right, because that's definitely what James Cameron had in mind when he wrote a story about horror, artificial intelligence and nuclear apocalypse, not shoving John Connor into a loot system with login bonuses. Devs are hyping up a 21-episode campaign, custom abilities, and iconic heroes. What they mean is reskinned tower units with voice lines ripped from a VHS tape. And let's be real, nobody playing Raid Rush gives a toss about John Connor's leadership aura or T-800's pixelated boomstick. They care about daily login bonuses and whether its shop resets in 6 or 8 hours. And worst bit, CEO You Fuck Sign, great name by the way, actually had bollocks to say this merger combines strategic tower defence gameplay with beloved story or a cinematic masterpiece. Mate, no it don't. It combines predatory mobile monetisation with nostalgia bait so shameless it makes Funko Pops look like art. You don't honour a legendary film by stuffing it into a mobile gacha trap, you exploit it. Let's call it what it is. Skynet didn't invade this world, we did. Corporate Skynet, marketing Skynet, real enemy ain't T-1000, it's bastard running your app store in your wallet. They didn't bring back Terminator, they brought back its corpse, put it in a clown suit and made it dance for Delta coins. Hasta la vista, dignity. Now let's talk about a mobile launch getting royal wedding treatment, with more fireworks, less substance, and same level of inbreeding. Delta Force Mobile just broke every App Store chart like a toddler with armour, and instead of quietly celebrating, Team Jade shoved the success down our throats with subtlety or a TikTok influencer on crack. 10 million players in 4 days, the scream. Yeah, and I've had 10 million intrusive thoughts watching this monetisation circus unfold. So let's break it down. Delta Force sits number 1 on mobile across nearly 200 territories. And what's first thing to do? Launch a cash-stuffed carnival called Burst Fest, complete with login bonuses, reskinned weapons, and more cosmetics than a Kardashian's travel bag. But don't worry, it's all free. You just have to log in 7 days straight, play every mode, and exchange 14 currencies while praying to algorithm god for daily dopamine crumb. 21 vehicle appearances, 150 skins, rare reds, Mandel cells. It's like bloody Willy Wonka started dealing arms instead of sweets. And what even is a Mandel cell? Sounds like something you need hazmat suit to handle. Let's talk about this paratrooper rain event. Every map now spawns half squads, basically glorified loot pinatas for whales to slap around. Meanwhile, Restorers are stuck grinding weapon XP while dodging a UI so bloated it needs its own storage tier. They even bragged about boosting PC player numbers on Steam. That's like saying your rat infestation is helping local pest control business. Delta Force didn't grow, it metastasized. You pumped out a mobile port with just enough twitchy visual and fake progression to hypnotise masses, then called it a milestone. Oh, and let's not forget that shiny new bundle, Dispute Pack. 3 guns, some profile fluff, and a reskinned spray for 1,500 Delta tickets. Translation? Your wallet on fire. Note says celebration like wringing your community dry before they've even finished tutorial. Delta Force didn't launch to success. It launched like a tactical nuke. Loud, flashy, and designed to flatten your attention span. Burst fest into party. It's a fucking feeding frenzy. And if you're not careful, you're main course. So, what do you get when you mix Doom Eternal, a tarot deck, and a bloke named Kido with a magic shovel? Apparently, you get HORDELORD. And somehow, it don't look like total shite. Middle AAA arse-licking and mobile scams this week, an actual indie developer emerged from shadows. Not to beg for your pre-order, but to slap you across base with a flaming shovel full of chaotic arena carnage. At devs, Fatbot Games. That game's HORDELORD, and it might just be scrappy blood-slick fever dream this godforsaken industry needs. He plays Kido. Yeah, really, Kido. Some undead geezer trying to impress Death himself to get a bloody job. That's right, not to save world, not to avenge his family, just to get hired as a professional gravedigger. That's not the most millennial afterlife metaphor ever written. I don't know what is. But here's kicker. It actually looks fun. Zip around with spectral jumps, splatter demonic mobs with 6 upgradable weapons, chuck tarot cards like a satanic blackjack dealer, and carve through waves of enemies in handcrafted arenas designed to turn your reflexes into performance art piece. It's got Horde mode, endless mode, unlockables, alt attacks, and, praise gods, full controller support. Art style's gritty, weapons crunchy, enemies proper nasty. Like someone took Doom, mixed it with Binding Horizon, and then had a breakdown in Blender until it spat out something that feels both cursed and strangely compelling. And guess what? No life service bullshit. No battle pass. No NFT encrusted shovel skins. Just you, some magic tarot, and a world that wants you dead. Over and over again. As it bloody should. Of course, the name HORDELORD sounds like something a 14-year-old cooked up during a Monster Energy binge. And Kido still sounds like a rejected sidekick from Goonies. But I'll figure that if gameplay's half as good as it looks. HORDELORD might be the first indie game in months to actually understand the assignment. Be fun, be fast, and don't try to scam your players. Wishlist it now, before some corporate parasite buys IP and turns it into a mobile gacha spin-off starring shovel NFTs. Nah, here's a Souls-like that comes with more feathers than a Peacock Rave and more deluxe editions and actual gameplay. WUCHANG Fallen Feathers has officially flapped its diseased wings onto pre-order circuit, and pitch is so melodramatic it makes Elden Ring look like Animal Crossing. A haunting dark fantasy inspired by Chinese mythology. Sounds promising. Feather-based illness? Alright, I'm listening. A deluxe edition with more costumes than an anime convention. No, piss off! Let's start with basics. It's hardcore action RPG. Read a Souls-like. You play as WUCHANG, a cursed warrior wandering through some doomed empire battling supernatural horrors. Classic setup. I'm not even mad about it. Ming Dynasty mythos? Underused. Dark aesthetic? Genuinely intriguing. Trailer? Looks like they actually gave a shit. But you know what kills mood faster than a fart in a funeral? Pre-orders. Pre-orders for a game not out for 3 bloody months. But don't worry, they're not just selling hype, they're selling packs. You can get Night and White pack, because apparently ghostly fashion is only thing stopping Empire from collapsing. 5-piece costume sets, a giant axe called Vermilion War Club, and a skill upgrade item that sounds like it were brewed in a meth lab. Glistening red mercury. But wait, there's more. For a few quid more, you can snatch Deluxe Edition. Stuffed with 4 weapons, 4 outfits, and blood of Chang Hong skill, because no screams balance like stat boosting DLC on day 1. At this point, it's lesser an RPG and more a mythological QVC segment. Look, I want Wang Chung to be great. Visually, stunning. Combat has potential. Thematically, rich ground to explore. For all this pre-order padding smells like publisher panic, like they're desperately trying to secure your wallet before reviews drop and honeymoons over. And let's not pretend 505 Games don't know how to milk a franchise. This is the same outfit that released Control Ultimate Edition on next gen only, basically flipping off everyone who bought it at launch. So forgive me if I don't rush to throw cash at the mystical feather flu simulator before I've seen raw, uncut gameplay and a crash tester PC port. WUCHANG might rise as a mythological masterpiece, or it might be yet another overpriced cosplay simulator buried under deluxe greed and pre-order poison. Either way, keep your feathers dry and your wallet shut till July. Here's a good one. What happens when Halo, Portal and Red Bull have a threesome in Zero Gravity? Apparently Splitgate 2. And this time, I might actually stick landing instead of ghosting us like deadbeat dev dad. So, cards on table? I might. Splitgate 2's coming back swinging in May with enough content to chalk a battle pass. Crossplay, 25 plus weapons, 15 plus maps, 10 plus mods, and apparently infinite maps cause 1047 games heard more maps and said, okay, here's a wormhole buffet. Let's talk gunplay. Splitgate always felt tight as hell. Clean movement, no floaty nonsense, no recoil model designed by an intern with vertigo. You shoot, it hits, it's fun. Add portals to that, you got a game that rewards actual brain cells instead of just slide cancelling into oblivion like COD on bath salts. Now they're bringing in Borealis, some flashy energy carbine with name that sounds like an overpriced vape pen. And if they balance it right, could be new go-to. If not, it'll be Metro on every Sweatlord TikTok loadout montage for the next 6 months. They're also dropping 2 massive 24-player onslaught maps, which means one or two things. Total chaos or best team shooter bloodbaths in some real tournament quit being cool. Either way, I'm in. Hell, I'm preloading damn beta like it owes me a favour. And here's kicker. This open beta is launch. No bait, no switch, no come back in 6 months bullshit. What you play on May 22nd is game. But let's not get misty-eyed yet. Of course, while I'm buzzing, we've been here afore. Splitgate 1 exploded, then fizzled when updates slowed to a crawl and devs pulled a Houdini. So they're back with a sequel. And yeah, the promising world. But let's be real. If this infinite maps thing turns out to be AI-generated procedurals with less personality than an NFT avatar, I'll nuke my own enthusiasm with a shovel. Also, devs, friendly tip, don't overpromise unless you've actually built the damn portal first. Games have been lied to more times than Bethesda's QA testers, and we don't take in beta hype at face value. Show us. Not trailers, not screenshots. Gameplay. Raw, messy, real. Splitgate 2 could be best FPS revival at decade, or another half-baked beta that vanishes faster than Halo Infinite roadmap. I want to believe, I do. Just don't f*** it up, lads. You've got something special here. Don't portal it straight into the bin. So there you have it, folks. Been a week, alright? Horror and headshot. A week's not done. Next time? Well, tomorrow I'm going deeper into Splitgate 2. It's going to be raw and unlubed. Don't say I didn't warn you. Join Discord, follow on X, and consider a channel membership if you're into that sort of thing. Links are in the description. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop your thoughts or questions in comment. Might just feature it on channel. I'll see you next time, you magnificent.